Hey there, ninth graders. JC here. Um, just kind of going over what you're going to be working on today. Obviously, you're going to do the review, but the bulk of today is really going to be diving back into the person that you are assigned and looking more in depth. I realized kind of last week by looking at everything, a lot of you only had 20 or 30, maybe 40 minutes if you were lucky, um, to look at everything that was provided on the resource page for you guys to look at your person. So I want to give you another class period to dive deeper and look at maybe the resources you didn't get to, or definitely look back at the resources that you had. So the main things I really want you to focus on today because I looked at everyone's and I returned it without really making a comment other than on those who were that I knew were going to be virtual and not in class. Um, I didn't really make comments because they were all the same, and really what I saw lacking was just enough detail. So I really want you to build in as much detail as possible. And the things I really want you to focus on is what were their business practices and how did they treat their workers. Okay, those are the two big things that I want you focusing on. Certainly philanthropy is important. I really want you to build up a very long list of the good things they did and the bad things they did. And a lot of those things you're going to acquire from this here. You're going to be transferring stuff in here to here. What I want is more detail, right? I saw people say they had a monopoly. Well, how did they get that monopoly? What were the business practices they used to get that? I just want you to give me specific examples. They used horizontal integration. Well, give me an example. Did they buy out their competition? Well, what competition did they buy out? Did they run out their competition? How did they run them out? Did they cut their prices lower than everybody else? What did they do specifically? Uh, Treated their workers. I saw some people put badly. Be specific. What did they do? Did they make them work long hours? Did they give them low pay? Um, what was it that they did bad? Or if they treated their workers good, why would you consider them treating their workers good? Did they pay them more than most businessmen? So that's what I'm looking for. More specific detail. I really want you to bulk up these so they're very long, because the more detail that you have, the easier the next thing that we're going to do is. If you don't have much, you're probably going to be going in this third day and looking for more stuff to be able to do what we're going to be working on tomorrow. And then the final thing I'll say is philanthropy. Right? Pretty much almost all of these men did philanthropy. Maybe your guy didn't do much of it, but all of them did at least a little bit of it, I believe. Um, Give me specific examples about not just, they donated a lot of their money. What did they donate it towards? What today do we know in their name because of the money that they donated? So maybe just bulk up that list a little bit. Most people's were decent. Um, and then the final thing is just tell me why down here. Some of you just said robber baron or captain of industry. Give me specific details of why you thought that. It's an opinionated question. I just want to know why. Because what we see is all of these men did good things and all of these men did bad things. So it is difficult. But I really want you diving in those business practices. I should have been more specific. The screencast that I want you to use was that puzzle video on the business practices that talked about monopolies, and you had to fill in that graphic organizer. That's the screencast you should be using. Any vocab term that you see, make sure you're putting that in. Just be specific. All right, that's all I want you working on today. I want you going through every single resource that I provided for you. The biggest and the best resources are number one, the video. Go through and watch that again, and the background info. All of you have like a 2-page document that gives background information. Read through that. Those are the biggest things. Um, and those are what I want you to focus on for today. And my expectation for today is that you'll be turning back a much more thorough uh, worksheet. I want you turning this back into me so I can look at it. And then I'll make specific comments if I feel you're still missing things. All right? Hope you guys have an awesome day. Message me with any questions. Now that I have students in class, it might take me a little bit to get back to you. But certainly message me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.